Hello, alright? Want to know a bit more about rare football shirts? You've come to the right place because I've got another top 5 match worn for you from this week. And what a shirt I've got to start off this week with. A long sleeve France 98 home shirt. That's right, long sleeve. I mean, does it get much better than that? This was only the second time ever that France wore this most famous design. They'd won it before against Spain, but this time against Norway on the 25th of February 1998 at the Stade Velodrome. They wore it featuring this France Coupe du Monde tournament logo, which to promote the upcoming World Cup that summer. So this was the first time that it was ever worn with the Adidas logo housed in the centre of the shirt, as it was at the tournament itself. Now, it wasn't possible to buy this shirt in the shop in long sleeve, and although it may look similar from a distance, actually when you look close up it is very, very different from the replica shirt. Now, I've got a replica shirt here for you to take a look at. Now, the shirts that the kit room would have received from Adidas are basically a blank canvas. All of this detail is added on later. So you see here it's an embroidered FFF crest, where on the player shirt it's embroidered, but it's a heat transferred on there, and it has the match detail. The Adidas logo is a plastic transfer, and this beautiful logo is also a transfer as well. Where on the replica shirt it's an embroidered logo. Now also look at the difference in the ventilation between the two shirts. If you look inside the collar on the player shirt, see the taping, and look how white the material is where compared to the replica version, because it's not as heavily ventilated. It comes across as more blue, doesn't have that taping in there, just a more professional finish on the player shirt. This shirt was issued for Didier Deschamps, the captain. The shirts the players wore in this particular match did feature a name set, so this is only a spare shirt, although what a beautiful spare shirt. The match was an absolute thriller, finished 3-3. France was so close to losing. Thankfully, Marcel Desailly was on hand to get a late equaliser, and it finished 3-3. I could look at this shirt all day, but unfortunately, I've got to show you another 4 shirts, so I'm going to have to put this one away. Sorry, but just look at it, come on. So you may have seen this one on our social media accounts like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, over the last couple of months. It is in my private collection, sadly, but I mean it's so beautiful that I can't bring myself to list it on the website at the moment. Maybe in time I will release it. It is this famous shirt that you've all been talking about. It's a Morocco shirt, and it was worn in a friendly match against the Republic of Ireland in 1990 at Dalymont Park, Dublin. You see this shirt and you think Holland, Euro 88, Soviet Union, West Germany, Italia 90. I was not aware that Morocco had ever worn this template until we were lucky enough to get this into our hands. I knew Dortmund had had it, and East Germany, a few other teams, but I did not know that Morocco had it, and it's very, very interesting shirt. A few people have said, "Oh, is it the Olympic shirt because it's got the Olympic rings on the badge?" It's actually not. Morocco actually started wearing this particular crest in 1984 to commemorate their qualification for the Los Angeles Games that summer. It was kept on until on all the Adidas kits throughout the 80s, like at the 1986 World Cup. It was worn throughout the rest of the 80s into the early 90s until we got to 1994 when Lotto took over and they released a new crest, and that's the one that you see on there today. So this shirt was not worn in the Olympics. It was only worn in a few games in the early 90s. In the early 90s, Morocco got through a few of the classic Adidas templates of the time. So it is different from the Holland and West Germany versions of the shirt. So that the Adidas trefoils flock and doesn't have the text underneath, and also the label is different. I think it's a made in France production, whereas the shirts worn by Holland and Germany are either made in Yugoslavia or West Germany. So it is different, and it does feel very thick. Ireland were fresh on the back of Italia 90, and they played a very strong team, and they won the match 1-0. But I mean, there's only one winner when it comes to kit design, wasn't there? And that was Morocco in this absolute classic. Got another ultra rare one for you now. It's a Juventus shirt from a friendly match against Middlesbrough in the summer of '96. Now, Juve, as Champions League winners, reigning European champions, decided to release a special shirt for their amichevole, or friendly matches, in the summer of '96. So this design got worn against Ajax, AC Milan and Bayern Munich, and a special match against Middlesbrough, which was played as part of the deal which took Fabrizio Ravanelli, the White Feather, over to the Riverside. The match was played in Cesena, and Juve were just too good. Vieri, Del Piero, both on the score sheet. Nigel Pearson pulled one back for Middlesbrough, but it was a pretty routine victory for Juve. This particular shirt was worn by the man, the hard man, Paulo Montero. What a rugged centre-back. I mean, they don't come much more fearsome and tough tackling than that Uruguayan. So after the friendly matches and the regular season kicked off, this design was never seen again, with the Kappa trim down the sleeves. That was changed. It went back to being the star logo, but unlike 95-96, where it was filled in yellow, 96-97 it was left empty. It's a shame, really. It would have been great to see this used more often, but it makes it such a rare and unique piece, really. And with it being worn by a real legend in Montero, I think it's a superb shirt. Now, every video I seem to tell you about my love for European Champions League shirts and the differences on them. Well, here is a real masterclass in different featured shirts from European competition. This shirt is from the 2000-2001 Champions League campaign. Now, UEFA had a rule at that time which meant that two teams could not play in a match wearing the same sponsor's logo. And funnily enough, AC Milan got PSG. So PSG also sponsored by Opel in that season. So in the match at the Parc des Princes, Milan had to switch into this shirt, which had a Corsa sponsor instead. Let me show you here the differences between the replica shirt. So you see you've got the quite a thick embossed Opel sponsor. This Adidas authorized licensed product patch, that's not there on the player's shirt. Climber light down the lower right. Instead, on here we've got an equipment tab. Also on the inside of the shirt there's a protective backing to the inside of the crest and the Adidas logo. This was a feature that was common on Adidas shirts from sort of like 98 to the mid 2000s, this protective backing on the inside. So this shirt was issued for Gianni Comandini, Italy under 21 superstar striker, signed from Vicenza this summer, but he was up against Sheva, Bierhoff, Jose Marie. Found it difficult to get many games, and he wasn't in the squad for this particular game, so it's just a spare. See, it's got the 5 times winners badge of honour on the sleeve. Milan got a late equaliser through Jose Mari to make a 1-1 draw in this game. All the players wore long sleeves, and this Corsa sponsor was only ever worn in this one match. Never seen again in this campaign, so really, really rare piece. So last but not least, I said I'd take requests, and I got one from Jason Button. He said he'd like to see the Barcelona C shirt from that was worn in the mid to late 80s. Famous Maber design, classic yellow with the Blaugrana stripes down there. All-time classic. Now, this shirt belonged to the C team, which during the 80s were referred to as the amateur team as well. We know this because of the paint inscription on the lower back. On Barca's shirts during this time, especially on the B team and C team shirts, the kit staff put on the back an inscription. This one says Ben.C. You can tell a Barca player shirt from this time really by the way the number is applied into the shirt. Now, you just cannot replicate this yourself. Like it's so heavily printed into the shirt that you can see the number on the inside. If you think you've got a Barca player shirt from the 80s and you can't see the number on the inside, then I don't think it probably is one. Barcelona C were founded in 1967. They played in the same football pyramid as as Barca and Barca B, but they couldn't play in the same division as them. Nevertheless, they did win the Tercera Division title twice and played in the Segunda Division B for 4 seasons in this shirt. You know, a lot of famous Barca players were introduced through the C team. Messi played 10 games for Barca C, scored 5 goals in 03-04. This shirt is, I mean, you might be looking at it thinking it's very small. It is a size S. Now normally for the senior team will wear a size L or XL, but the C team was more of an under 23 team, more like a youth team, with the B team more like the reserves. So that's the reason why it's only a small size. Beautiful design, all-time classic, Barca Maber, you know, brilliant. Hope you enjoyed that. Some really rare shirts, wasn't it, there? I'll see if I can find some as rare as that for next week. If there's anything that you want to see, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and see you next week. Cheers.